Welcome to GAEL Unscripted, where leadership meets learning and real conversations drive real impact. I'm Ben Wiggins, Executive Director of GAEL. Join us as we go beyond the headlines with Georgia's top education leaders. Let's elevate the conversation. Welcome back, GAEL family. This is the final episode of the fall season of GAEL Unscripted, and we're very happy to have you with us today. We've had an exciting fall season of podcasts. We've had some wonderful guests, and we've already got a packed schedule for next semester, the spring semester of our GAEL podcast. If some of you are watching online, whether you do whichever platform you do, you may be thinking that you have some wonderful ideas that you're doing at your local school or in your district. We would love to have you as guests, so you can fill out some information, send Ivy Young an email at GAEL or me, Ben Wiggins, at GAEL, and we'd be glad to reach out to you and talk to you about the possibility of doing a podcast. We certainly prefer those to be in person. They seem to just flow better, but we do have the capability, if you're way off, to do a remote version. But we do have that capability. But we have found that the face-to-face works so much better. So thank you for joining us during this first season, and look forward to seeing you in the spring. I've got with me Cindy Flesher today. Cindy, why don't you introduce yourselves? I know everybody knows you, but we probably have some new GAEL members that may not know you, and tell them what your role is here with GAEL.
All right. Well, I am Cindy Flesher, and I'm the Professional Learning Coordinator for the Georgia Association of Educational Leaders. Part of my heart and soul. I was a former GAEL president back in 2013-14, and when this opportunity came available, when I retired in 2021, it was an obvious choice for me to apply and essentially be chosen for the position. We have three parts of our mission. One is to provide quality professional learning for our members. One is networking opportunities, providing those for our members, and then promoting public education through advocacy during the legislative season and all year round. So my job is to help create and decide upon what kind of professional learning opportunities we're going to have for our members. But I need you guys. You guys help us decide on those kinds of things by completing the needs assessment that we send out every year in February. We'll do that again this February, immediately after the Winter GAEL conference, which will be February 1st through 3rd. So please be looking out for that and be willing to give your input on that, because we definitely want to make sure that our programming aligns with the needs that you have.
Yeah, and you do a great job of not only putting those surveys out, but you go through those meticulously. We sit down as a GAEL staff, we talk about those, and we take the feedback that our members give us, both for the professional learning opportunities that we have, but even at our conferences. We make changes based on what our members share with us. And so, like Cindy said, we really do value your feedback and input. It helps us to know exactly what it is that you want as GAEL members so that we can provide it. Cindy, you mentioned Winter GAEL is coming up February 1st through 3rd in Athens. Why don't you tell our GAEL members a little bit about what's in store for Winter GAEL, and maybe we'll even talk about lodging and hotel rooms and some of those logistical things too.
Well, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for networking, of course, which is one of our goals, is to provide opportunities to network with others and hear about some of the great things that other people are doing in other districts through the breakout sessions and just the downtime between sessions. Be able to, meet some other people and talk to them and ask them what they're doing and how they're dealing with some of the same struggles that you have, because everybody deals with a lot of the same struggles, and some people have figured it out and some people haven't, and so that's a great opportunity to do that. We also have our breakout sessions that we have 4 strands for this time. One is on building the bench, growing quality educators and leaders leaders. And so districts and schools have been selected to share how they're doing that, how they're recruiting teachers and leaders for their schools and districts. Another breakout session is leading forward innovation, agility, and strategic change. And we have quite a few breakout sessions. And as far as that strand goes, we have another one on driving student outcomes with intentional leadership. So these are proven strategies in other districts that they're going to share that you can take back and replicate or tweak a little bit to make it fit your needs and your school or district. And then the last one is reclaiming time for what matters most. That seems to be one of the hardest things for us as administrators sometimes is keeping the focus on the main thing. And, you know, some of those presentations in that category deal with AI and how to use AI to make your job easier, to work smarter, not harder. And so those are some things that you can anticipate as far as the breakout sessions. But our keynote speakers, I'm really excited about. We have Caitlin Roy DeBalis. She was a kindergarten teacher at Sandy Hook Elementary School when that terrible event happened a few years ago with the shooting. And she's not going to spend so much time talking about the actual event that happened at their school, but you know what happened afterwards and how you move forward from that. Joe Sanfilippo, he was a superintendent in Wisconsin and was actually the National Superintendent of the Year in 2019, and he'll be coming to share with us some of his thoughts. And then lastly, we have Brandon Fleming, who is the author of the book Miseducated, and he's a worldwide renowned speaker. He was an at-risk youth college dropout who has totally turned into a successful educator, speaker, entrepreneur. He has been a debate coach at Harvard University. So I look forward to hearing what Brandon has to share with us. It's going to be a great 3 days full of professional learning.
That's great. You know, you mentioned those breakout sessions. That's one of the things that our members shared with us in those surveys and feedback is that our members wanted more breakouts. And you've done a great job of making sure that the breakout sessions are relevant to every educational leader's current position. But one of the magical things about GAEL is, you know, the turnover of leaders is so fast and furious now that not only are you able to come to winter and summer GAEL and be able to get information and breakout sessions and professional learning for your current job, but you get it for your future job that maybe you don't even know about yet.
That's exactly right.
So you've done a fantastic, and I think you shared with me that this was a record number of breakout proposals this year, and I think that speaks.
We had 88 proposals that were submitted, and there were so many of them that were so good, and we only have 39 spots for breakouts, and that's across 3 rounds of 13 each. And so we did our best to pick a good variety from small districts to large districts, small schools to large schools, elementary, middle, high, personnel focused ones. So there's a lot of variety in there. And I know in recent feedback, what we have heard is please do some repeated session of the breakouts. We do not have any repeated sessions just because we hated to turn so many people away that had submitted great proposals. But what we do provide is after the conference, we have a link to the presentations that are shared with us. There are a few of the presentations that we won't be able to share, like with our keynote speakers. We can't share those, and there may be a few of the breakouts. Depending on the content of what they're sharing, we may or may not be able to share them, but that'll be available to everybody. So even if you can't attend every breakout session that you want to, you will have access to the presentation that was shared.
We had a fall finance webinar series that was so popular, and we got so much feedback from our members that we've invited those folks to come to Winter GAEL, so they'll be doing breakout sessions. So if you saw those webinar series, which they're still available to our members, and you want to get more information, more details about that, those presenters will be at Winter GAEL, and you can have the opportunity to ask questions right there. So that's a wonderful opportunity as well. Let's talk a little bit about the hotel rooms. All that information can be found on the website.
Yes.
First thing is make sure you're registered for Winter GAEL, but then if you haven't already, I would really start taking care of your hotel accommodations, because those rooms fill up very, very, very quickly. And I know for the vast majority of our GAEL members, they prefer to be at a hotel where they can walk across the street.
Yeah, and the hotel situation is not as much of a crisis situation as summer GAEL, but for Winter GAEL, yes. If you want to be at the Hyatt that's connected to the Classic Center or right across the street at the new Marriott, you definitely want to go ahead and get those room reservations as soon as possible. And you can go to our GAEL.org website on the events page, scroll down to Winter GAEL Conference, and if you click on that, you should be able to see the hotel links there.
Yeah, so we really look forward to seeing you at Winter GAEL. Cindy mentioned the networking piece being one of our 3 pillars. I can remember, Cindy, the first GAEL conference I went to, I felt very out of place. I didn't really know anyone. I remember thinking, do I really belong here? Why don't you talk about that a little bit, and maybe from your experiences? But what I found is, coming back the next year, my network began to build, and it was amazing how my network of colleagues around the state began to grow, not only in my current position, but for the other affiliates. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, and I would speak from my experience. Before I was in my final role in Houston County as the Deputy Superintendent of HR, and my affiliate at that time was GASPA. I had been a part of GASES prior to that when I was the instructional coordinator for our school, and then I had also been a part of GAESP, which is the Elementary School Principals Association. In those affiliate groups, when I would go to the meetings, I know you think sometimes, oh, this is a business meeting, I don't know anybody, I'm not going to go there. That's an opportunity to meet people in your role that you can get to know, and find some people across the state that you can reach out to, as a support network for you, especially those of you that are in small districts. If you may not have another elementary school principal in your district or middle school principal, that's a great way to start building that network. And just don't be afraid to reach out and talk to people and ask questions. And you do belong there.
That's
you
right.
are an educational leader in the state of Georgia, and that's what we're here for. And take advantage of those opportunities to get to know people at the reception on Sunday afternoon immediately following the conference. On that day, you can come in and have a nice little beverage if you would like, and that might help give you some liquid encouragement to reach out to people that you don't know.
Thank you to Coca-Cola for being our sponsor.
That's right.
Our main partner.
But yeah, just don't be afraid to get out there and reach out, and don't feel like you have to know it all, because none of us know it all. If somebody had all the right answers, they'd be making $1 million and selling it online somewhere. I promise you that. So, but I feel strongly if we can all come together and work together, put our brains together, we can come up with some great solutions in our field.
Yeah, and on the networking piece, I just strongly encourage you to put yourself out there, reach out to people, introduce yourself, because what I've found over my career, Cindy, is every educational leader that I've come across has been more than willing to help me over the years. And I think that's what our veteran leaders, they really understand that being their role as veteran educational leaders. And so they want to help you. So reach out to them and begin to build that network. Is there anything else you want to add about Winter GAEL before we sign off on this fall kickoff?
I can't think of anything. We just look forward to seeing you there, and to get registered if you haven't gotten registered, so we can go ahead and make plans on having everything that we need ready for you.
Perfect. We've got the governor invited. We've got the chairman of both the House and Senate Education Committees. We've got DOE will be there giving us important updates. It is a great conference that you don't want to miss. So we hope all of you have a wonderful Christmas and holiday season. We will be back on January 5th for our spring podcast series of GAEL Unscripted.
Merry Christmas.